Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do my review of the curious case of Natalia Grace, season 1, episode 5, Barnett versus Barnett. Let's do it.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with the whoop whoop and the boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can make this up. Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even fuckers?
Aunties and lies, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody, and this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. You all, we got one more episode after this to get through season 1 of Natalia Grace. And I have been so very, very happy that you all have joined me in doing this. I can't wait to get to season 2, which everybody told me is like hot. Okay. So can't wait to do that. I talked to my brother today and he was like even waiting for me to get to season 2. So, it means a lot when your family is out there watching you and stuff like that, and they ready for you to get to it too. Because I have definitely been seeing y'all comments saying, Auntie, wait till you get to season 2 of this mess. But I have been enjoying the trip just doing season 1. Don't forget, if this is your first time being here, that after this next week, no, the week after next, we will be doing Gypsy Rose. Okay, so excuse me, stay tuned for that. So I'm gonna put on my glasses because, as you all know, I have to bring my notes up. Whew. Let's bring it up. Let me minimize it. So last week last episode we were left with a stunner, right? Because Jacob had disclosed some information. He was downtown in the basement and did not, want to continue the discussion that he was having with them. He went upstairs, came out the dungeon and went upstairs and had a conversation with his father and didn't realize that he still had his microphone on. In that discussion, okay, that he had not planned on having, he had disclosed about kicking Natalia down the stairs and being concerned about whether or not this was going to come back to bite him. And Micheal, his dad, assured him that because he was a minor at the time, that, okay, here we go. Because he was a minor at the time. I noticed yesterday that I was doing a whole lot of glitching. I have the thing set up and I'm hoping that it stopped this. Okay. So anyway, so he calls himself an idiot, right? About having this conversation with his dad and not realizing that he still had the mic on. He said he felt like a moron because it was on, right? So it just was a thing that was going on, right? So let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get to my notes. So, let me see. Let me get So now we see, basically, like I said, his dad had told him he don't have nothing to worry about and all of that kind of stuff. And at that time, I really felt like, Jacob, or Jake, as I call him, had a whole lot to do with what was going on in the household. And I believe that the other siblings too. But because the siblings are still living with the mother, right? The other brothers, we have not seen any pictures of them recently, and neither did they decide to be in this documentary along with them. So now we see an interview being conducted with Natalia, and she's asking Natalia whether or not she got beat. And so Natalia first said no, and then when she began to ask her other questions, she said, wait a minute, did I say that they did not whoop me or beat me? She said basically Kristine would allow, she would do it, the boys would do it, and then Micheal would come home and do it. She said Jacob would basically just throw her downstairs, or pick her up and throw her down. What kind of foolishness was going on in this household? Like, for real. Just think about it. I mean, I know this little girl got problems, but nobody deserves to be treated that way, y'all. They basically said that Natalia has been telling different stories. Because first she said it was physical, then she said it wasn't physical, and all of that kind of stuff. They ended up doing quite a bit of forensic interviews with her. And they said during these interviews, she made a lot of conflicting statements. And the problem with that is that they're memorialized in police reports. That's the problem with it. She said, did they actually whip you with a belt, Natalia? She said, they did with me. She literally let the boys beat me. And Jacob would just drop me. She said, when all of this stuff was going on, Natalia, who was in the room? Kristine. Kristine's evil ass, if this stuff is true, would sit in the room. Jacob began a dialogue downtown in the basement about his mother get back tactics. He mentioned a story about Natalia using the bathroom in places where she wasn't supposed to. Now, for those of you all who know, or those of you all who don't know, Jacob has autism. So the thing that he remembered was Natalia's pink blankets and comforters. He said that his mama, in order to get back at Natalia, she was advised by a therapist that Jacob's big ass was to go in her room and urinate on her bed. He was disgusted to this day about what he was doing to her, because he said these things keep him up at night. It's the guilt of it and not paying for it that's keeping you up, because you know that you need to be repaid for all of that you did, whether your mother told you to do it or not. This had to be, or the light that they're painting is that this is a really sick woman. I mean, vindictive, got to be her middle name. When you would ask your son at 12 years old to go in somebody's bedroom and defile it in such a way. She might as well just went on and told, you know what? Beth said because Kristine controlled her children and used them to control Natalia. She said it was all about control and manipulations. And the Barnetts, okay, are supposed to be like parents. They're supposed to protect all their children. But Kristine put Jacob on the front lines. She said, and it made her wonder whether or not if she was having Jacob do this and the other kids, what was she making Natalia do? Micheal said, I was abused by that woman. He's screaming and hollering and I was abused by that woman. Jacob was abused. All of us was abused. My other sons was abused by that woman right now. Right now, they're with her and she's being abused. Calm the fuck down. See, the problem with believing him is his behavior. All that screaming, don't no man do all of that. He said right now they being abused by her and manipulated. He said the woman is controlling, she's lying, she's a manipulative woman, and we all were abused by her. Then Michael's mother comes out there and talks about an incident. Now, you know what? I just wiped her out. I'm going to be honest with her. Her notes is one sentence, bitch. Because I didn't want to hear nothing that the mother or the sister had to say. I don't want to hear it. At this point, it's irrelevant. Who cares about she putting you out her house? Who cares? If she want to stand up on the step stool and reach up to the ceiling, bitch, let her. Who gives a? Then Michael goes into this actual abuse. He says that he was being abused by Kristine and that it takes on different kinds of, bitch. He said usually you see it and it's obvious and it's visual. But what he went through was she was withholding herself from him. Okay. He said, did she physically violate me? No. But she actually did it. She used it as a tool. She would do things to manipulate him, basically hold herself from him. She would keep herself from him. He said that sometimes it would be 5 times out of a year. He said it was in the single digits. So let's say 9. He said she realized that he was attracted to her. And so she used that to make him do things. And so because she did that, he went to this little thing called pornography. He said she never tell him she was attracted to him or nothing. He was the ugly one. She was the beautiful one. He said, so because she knew that he turned into the other thing, and please don't put it in the comment section. If you do, Ray Della's going to have to delete your comment, okay? Don't put it in there. Y'all notice that I'm using other words, right? I'm not saying the words fully all the way out. He said she would use that stuff against him. And in October 2013, he left Canada. Beth said that Kristine was leveraging her body to get what she wanted in a divorce. She said that she would see, I guess maybe she would see text messages or whatever it is. She said, you could have this from me if you give me custody of the boys. And she said the unbelievable thing about it was that Micheal agreed. She said that Kristine was a walking epitome of evil. Period. Micheal said that at first he thought that the brainwashing that Kristine was doing was just about him. He didn't see it happening until to anybody else until he saw how his sons had been manipulated after the divorce. She had told the kids over and over and over and over that your father is going to unalive you. He said, and she was like, he's going to unalive you, but I'm here to protect you and all of that kind of stuff. And he said, and after they heard it over and over and over and over and over again, then they began to believe it. And that is why it took him years to get back in contact with Jacob, right? And the other boys still don't have anything to do with him. So we saw in the last episode where he was crying and telling Jacob, how he missed. He said that she is pure evil and she has earned every letter in the word evil. So Beth was like, given a bit of divorce between Micheal and Kristine, they hate each other and they are at war. And now they got this daggone criminal case that Micheal found out about in episode 4. The prosecution had to file separate cases against Micheal and Kristine, and they believed that they did it, right? Because of a lot of alleged conduct by Kristine, because Micheal had basically threw Kristine up under the bus. So they separated the cases because he made all of these allegations against her as it relates to the treatment of Natalia. So they assumed that that's why they decided to do it. But Michael's trial was first. So he was trying to put all the blame on Kristine and escape all the accountability, okay? And of course, all of it in their assessment was motivated by Michael's revenge of Kristine. But in the last episode, if you go back and look at the review, I blame, he was complicit to me in everything. Because if you see something, say something. If you know something, show something. Now, in the last episode, he said that he had taped an episode that went on between Kristine and them, and he had put it on his cell phone, and he allowed her to delete it. And he gonna sit up there and holler and scream and say, I was scared of her and all that, and now I would stand up to her. He's still afraid to stand up to her. He's not going to stand up to her. He said he said after the divorce, they was using his phone, right? He called it a communal phone. He said the pictures will automatically upload to their Dropbox. And he had saw that Kristine had started putting these little, raunchy pictures on there and stuff. So, of course, the two of them ended up having a conversation about it. And Micheal was like, telling her I'm seeing the pictures. And she was like, you sending it to men? And she was like, how you know I'm sending it to men? And that she had sent the picture to him. And he was like, bitch, you didn't send a picture to me. It uploaded to Dropbox. I think I'm going out there to see pictures of my kids and stuff like that. And I'm seeing your ass hanging out. So she was like, well, I know you've been tracing it on Spotify. And he was like, do you know what Spotify is? Spotify is a musical application. It's like Pandora. He said she was doing all kinds of stuff. So Micheal said that she's twisted, convoluted. They lie publicly, privately, repeatedly, over and over and over again so that she can maintain power, money, and control over everything and everyone. He said that Natalia was manipulated, brainwashed, engineered into looking as crazy as possible by Kristine. But bitch, what did you do to help Natalia when Kristine was doing all of this? So in 2012, Marion County had ruled that Natalia is and has been an adult. Kristine has taught Natalia how to lie and tell people how old she was. he said that she had a script that she had Natalia read off or basically memorize, so when she got around people, she would be able to rehearse this. But he knew this stuff was going on. He said that Kristine had told her, "Hi, my name is Natalia. I may look young, but I'm actually 23. And I'm dangerous, and I've tried to kill people before." What the? So at this point, production is like, so Micheal, they thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Why did you let this happen? Now here he goes with his little horse and pony show. I said, I don't think I ever witnessed her say that greeting to a stranger publicly. I don't think I was ever present. What? He said this was something Kristine taught her, but you knew. He said Kristine taught Natalia to say this, so in case they wasn't around, nobody could blame them for abandoning this little child. To me, Micheal, in my opinion, is grosser than Kristine, because at least Kristine was being who she was. With him, he just was letting it go, playing a coward's role. And he think that his boys would have respect for him, because Micheal hasn't taken accountability for let's just put it out there. He hasn't taken accountability for anything. Talking about, I should have been more of a man. You think? He's talking about, I should have stood up and taken control, but then he screams and hollers and yells and gets to me. Oh, God, I couldn't do it. I was so scared. Mother, give you. How in the hell did they get past or get through that? How? He. For real? He talking about he wasn't mentally or emotionally capable of putting a stop to the that this girl was going through. Not only do I believe that Natalia was stinking, her room had to been stinking because fucking Jacob, was going in there and peeing in there. What were the other little boys doing? Micheal, when he talked about that, see, we just gonna talk about Jacob. We ain't gonna talk about the other kids. No, bitch, let's talk about the other kids. I couldn't stand up to that woman. I could today. I could today. I could now with distance and space and clarity. Now I can stand up to her. Shut the fuck up. So now they go over to Melanie. Melanie's another neighbor. She said when she told me that she had tried to kill her mom, I was like, what? Why? She said, I felt like she was being coached to say these things. She said, I just really believed that Natalia was being coached, and this ain't never happened. She said, I kind of made her believe that, it was just so far disconnected. Micheal said that in general, everything was about Kristine. But Michael, it was about you too, bitch. So we go to Beth, because Beth has basically been narrating this whole story. She said, if it's true that Kristine was manipulating Natalia, for Michael to say that this stuff was false, or Natalia to say this stuff was false, is disturbing. She said, it begs the question of whether or not this is evidence that she has Stockholm syndrome. She said, or was it proof or evidence that Natalia was a child following the orders of her mama and her daddy, because the daddy wasn't coming back and correcting it. He wasn't telling her this was wrong. Even in the last episode, when he had her standing, when Kristine had her standing up against the wall, he could have said, Kristine, you know that ain't right. Natalia heard and peeped everything else out. She looking at the neighbors. She's smart enough to understand that maybe he is weak, but he is at least saying this ain't right. And Beth was like, that just shows why there's so many inconsistencies in Natalia's story. She said, for example, Natalia admitted to trying to poison him, right? She said, I tried to poison him. So she said, I had to go and live in the garage for a while. And then she came back and denied it. She also said, I put some cleaning products in her coffee. Then she came back and said, she told me to say that. So she was like, did she have Stockholm? Or was she just saying what they told her to say? She said, it just sounds like compulsion, like she was being forced to say certain things. She said everything in this case basically boiled down to Natalia's age. Them trying to get away with this bullshit. Is she a child or is she an adult? Could she really have been born in 2023? How old is she? It's basically clear from everybody in the prosecution. They believe that Natalia really was a child when she was left alone to live by herself and fucking harass the hell out the neighbors and overburden and stress the rental office. And they believed that they was trying to do it so that they wouldn't get charges brought up on their asses about child neglect. So they said it was two sets of theories and two sets of charges. One is based on Natalia being a child, and the other one is based on charges of Natalia being a dependent with a disability. So they said this is where Natalia's age becomes extremely important in the case and in what they're trying to investigate. If the prosecution can prove that Natalia was a child, despite her re-aging, it will be an open and motherfucking shut case. So on September 5th of 2019, there was a police report from Davenport. He's talking to Michael. He's smoozing him. He making him believe that this is all about Kristine. He done already went to the house and told him he wasn't going to lock his ass up. So he was like, so you just went along with all of this? And he was like, yeah, because if I didn't, I would never see my kids again. He said, Kristine was a master manipulator. What have I told you? He said, Natalia has never had a menstrual cycle. Michael, are you aware of that? He said, what if I told you that she had just started developing breasts a year ago? Would you believe that? Would you believe that, Michael? He said, been a whole lot of stories out here, but the stories they ain't going together. It's a whole lot of cover up, a whole bunch of lies, a whole bunch of inconsistencies. The stories that's out here, but where the truths? He said, Michael, I really believe that you know that what y'all was doing was wrong. He said, in regards to Natalia being re-aged, what's your motive? What's your motive for re-aging her? He said that he believed that that was a motivating factor on whether or not they could be charged for the abuse because of her age. So Michael is steady bumping his gums, but Davenport ain't finished. He called the hospital. He was like, hey, doctor, my name is Brandon Davenport. I'm a detective. I was trying to get a hold to you about Natalia Barnett. And the physician was like, I ain't seen her ass in 7 or 8 years. But yeah, I saw her. He said, I don't believe that Natalia was 22 years old when she was made 22. Or else I wouldn't even be looking into this. And so the doctor was like, well, I think the court ruled on that. I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't had nothing to do with that. So they going back and forth. And basically the doctor is trying to backpedal and pussy pop off of it and say that this was the judge. He said, you know, this happened in a hearing and all of this kind of stuff. Hold on, let me get my notes. So he said the truth is this actually happened without even a hearing, which is kind of crazy to me. But they definitely used you as a person to get this done. It definitely looked like they were trying to say that you're aging her up because you aged her up. I remember her telling me, this is what the doctor said, that she was 18. Kristine was making her say that. Davenport told him Kristine was making her say that she was older than what she was. He said Kristine had a tendency to falsify a lot of information. He said, now we got to ask ourselves, why did they do this, doc? The doctor was like, I had my suspicions, but I wasn't responsible for this. Now they go in and start talking about the age of adoption, and Davenport told him, you do realize that when they adopted her, they was on a hook for her ass until she was 21. So that's why they aged her up to 22. So he told the doctor, look, they gonna blame this on you. You better get your stuff together. You better get your paperwork together, your lies together, your story together, because they more than likely is going to put this on you. They going to put this on you. He was like, you think they going to do this? He was like, damn right. So Beth was like, it was curious that based on a large part on Dr. McLaurin opinion is apparently what ruled or what the judge used to rule. And they wanted to be a central part of the investigation. So we got another interviewer talking to Natalia. He said, would you agree that the fact that you personally believe that Natalia is a child that biased your investigation? No, they're not talking to Natalia. I'm sorry, they're still talking to the doctor. So the doctor said, I don't think my investigation is biased. So he was like, okay, so do you believe that Natalia back in 2013, do you believe that she was a child? And the doctor said the facts suggest that she was a child at the time. Actually, the facts are there's a court order saying that she's not going to fight over this. She said that it's your opinion. The facts show she's a child. Is that what you said? That it's your opinion that the facts show she's a child? And Auntie said yes. So Beth said Natalia's age, her birth year was so important that prosecutors and detectives went to Ukraine to go and visit with her mother. They went and tracked her mother down, Anna Gabbert, who is Natalia's biological mother. They ran some DNA samples on her and all that. She said she wanted the best for her. So she took the test. Natalia's mother said she gave her up at birth based on what the doctor said. She had a birth defect, and that's what she needed to do. She wished above all things that she had kept Natalia. She said, but they promised her a bag of gold, riches, all that. And she didn't get none of that. And she regrets putting her daughter up for adoption based on what she was being told. And sometimes women and men, families, have to make those hard decisions. And it's so sad because she probably wasn't rich enough. So Anna, they went back and they checked. Anna was born in 1979. She would have been 10 years old if Natalia was born in 1989. So the courts ruled and pushed her date of birth from 2003 to 1989. They said her own mother would have been 10 years old when she had Anna if that was the case. She said, so there aren't a lot of good reasons besides seeing some pubic hair on her to believe that she was born any time before 2003. She also knew that Michael's attorneys had the DNA results because they got it in discovery. So they know that Anna was Natalia's mother, and it's impossible for her ass to have been 10 years old having Natalia. Because remember, Natalia's birth mother had a child before Anna. So Michael blowing it off, talking about the woman in UK. I don't know the truth of anything. I don't know her ass. What the? Now he backing up onto the attorneys. Michael wasn't. So they said that the Superior Court sided with Michael's attorneys. They ruled that she was an adult. And anything about a child, her being a child or anything else, was not relevant in the case, and they couldn't even bring it up. They couldn't bring it up. So despite the DNA evidence that Anna was her biological mother, the court ruled that Natalia's age was not going to be greenlit at the criminal trial. All of the witnesses that they had prepared to testify about Natalia's age was all on a hush. Dismissed, bitch. Silenced. All of it. So now Micheal and Kristine ain't got to worry about that because that's gone. And can nobody bring this up? Nobody. Nobody. They said that the court order gave her a date of birth. And the point in trying to get across to you, can't talk about it, can't testify, can't talk about it, can't do it. Cannot do it. They have Micheal downtown at the lawyer's office. They briefing him. They briefing the dude out of him. They running the game. They got all of their ducks in a row, bitch. Everything's in a row. See where I'm at with my nose. Hold on. Hold on. So they told him that all that was gone, and they told him this trial is about you. We're not defending Kristine. She is not part of this case, and we will attempt to pave the road. We will not even attempt to pave the road for her. We will not use Kristine's name in trial. And we know that their overall messaging is going to be abandonment. So we're going to get our defense together. The word adoption could not be used in the case. Could not be used in the case. Her age, re-aging, none of that. They say that they know that everybody is expecting them to talk about this crazy adoption, but it's not because it's an allegation of neglect. So now she's an adult. They can't use the defense. Well, how could they use that little girl, that tiny person? They say if the jury believes that one thing they can't find is that you abandoned a person. If they can find that out, then they can convict you. So we cannot, they told Micheal, all the lawyers, we cannot use the word adult. So they strategizing around that, trying to figure out how not to use it. He had a black lead attorney, and they was like, what do you think is going to be the hardest part? He was like, trying to get people to like my ass. They told Micheal, all that drama, all that bullshit you've been doing, that acting and falling the hell out, you got to put a muzzle on all of that. Fix your face, keep a dumbass smile on it, and don't do nothing else in front of these jurors. Micheal was like, so I'm just going to sit there like, they was like, yeah, bitch. You going to sit there with your face expression straight dry, all that theatrics, jumping on the floor, crying, say you, all of that. All of that. You got to get rid of all of that. We're going to make sure that we do not use child, any of that kind of stuff. Re-age, nothing. We gonna keep this story straight. The lawyer told him this the motherfucking Super Bowl, bitch. Our goal is to win, and we gonna win. The lawyer said the one thing that he was worried about is that Michael wears his feelings on his sleeve and all up in his body, his reaction, everything. He said his fear, too, is that Michael get convicted of the crime and have to go to jail. He going to be looking possibly at a level 3 felony. And he said he going to be in prison for a minimum of 16 years. And he know this bitch can't make it. He said he know he ain't going to be able to make it through being in jail. So they like it's on like popcorn. Y'all. Michael, thank you so much, Charlotte Bain, for the super chat, for the cash app. Thank you, boo. Thank you so much. Now I'll be reading my notes, y'all. I'll be out of it. I'm sorry. So the next episode is season 1, episode 6, Punch or Be Punched. We will be doing that tomorrow. Thank you, love. Thank you. We will be doing that tomorrow. And after that, we will be into season 2, which is where y'all wanted me to be. I saw Ray Della put something out there saying no arguing in the chat. Y'all, this is nothing to argue about. We don't know these damn people. They don't know us. It's a show based on some truth and some dramatization. It is no need for us to be, y'all, because I ain't arguing with y'all, to be arguing in the chat. We are all family out here. Now, we can disagree, but we got to disagree respectfully. Okay, y'all? No fighting in the chat. Y'all are here to have a great time. And you all are, I'm bringing us all together, not for war, but for love. Okay? I don't want Ray Della to have to feel like she's got to block anybody or delete anybody or hide anybody from the channel. I don't want that to happen. Y'all, I have been having such a great time doing this. A great time with the conversation and getting people interested, right? In even looking at the show. Some of y'all didn't even know it was going on, right? Until I decided that I will cover it. And I want us to keep a family environment here at Auntie's Advice, in an environment that's welcoming for everybody. Y'all see my face? Let's all get along. It's not that serious. We all have our different views about it. And one thing about this show, and I've said it multiple times, is that one day you believe one side and the next day you don't, right? You don't agree with everything. I have formed my opinion about all of these months, and I will not say what that is until what that is and why, right? Until we get to the end of season 2. But I've already formed an opinion. And it may be an opinion that y'all don't agree on. I believe that that everybody has been wrong and why everybody has been right. But I do believe that there are certain factors, right, that have caused me to form an opinion about Natalia. And I will give that opinion at the end of season 2. But let's just get along. It's no need to be out here arguing. Because y'all arguing anytime Ray Della got to say, Come on, y'all know August. And I just happened to see it while reading my notes. Y'all, we better than that over here, Auntie's advice, okay? We are much more better than that. So tomorrow, make sure you have your notification bells on because we will be wrapping up season 1 of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because it's free 99. It doesn't cost you anything. And until we meet each other again, y'all be safe out there in the streets and in the chat. Love y'all.